Here's a sentence I never thought I'd hear myself saying. I'm Pete Buttigieg, and you might recognize me from Fox News. I believe in going anywhere, in service of a good cause, and friends, we gather in a very good cause, electing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the next president and vice president of the United States.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg has been doing the rounds on Fox News for a while now, and for some masochistic reason I'll never understand, they keep inviting him back.
Sometimes I feel like conservative media and the Republican Party still think they're running against Joe Biden. He had an opportunity last night to demonstrate his achievements, right? The fact that he is responsible, for example, for the biggest run of job growth in the history of the American presidency. I think in any job, but especially the presidency, you want to be judged by your results. People want to nitpick the show flow of a cabinet meeting when we have had a country that, when he inherited it, was in a condition where you couldn't even approach the Capitol because of the violent assaults on the Capitol by Trump supporters. Not just getting our country moving on from that, not just getting our country back on its feet from the COVID collapse, but all of the other things that he did, including, by the way, delivering the infrastructure bill that Donald Trump promised and failed to deliver.
I know you got the talking points.
You want to go off how many hours he's in which office at what time?
But these weren't conservative outlets. I guess you can say the Wall Street Journal is, but
but you're a conservative outlet. The first thing you're asking about is what time is it a cabinet meeting instead of achievement.
I just want to know, when did you guys know that the president was unfit to be on your ticket?
The president is not unfit.
So why is he not the nominee right now?
Because he did something that Donald Trump cannot comprehend, which is to put his ego aside.
There were dozens of things done under the Trump administration that this administration rolled back, and Vice President Harris is part of this administration and had a leading role, according to mainstream media, on handling the border.
Let's get real. Border crossings are down in the wake of President Biden's executive actions that he took after Congress failed to act.
So he could have taken action.
He wanted Congress to resolve that because that would have been more durable. But when Trump came in, talked Republicans out of their own bipartisan project because he didn't want the issue to get better. Remember, the worse things are at the border, the better things get for Donald Trump. Because they tried to paint this narrative that if you live somewhere far from the border and immigration hasn't affected you personally, you need to think that immigration is a driver of crime. Well, the false message of the RNC was that this is leading to an increase in crime.
Well,
and I think it's really important that we talk about crime.
Have been very high profile about people. If they had not been in this country illegally,
this is my
people
point,
would still
right?
be alive.
Trying to make people think that crime is up when crime is down under Joe Biden and crime was up under Donald Trump. Now, I don't know how often that gets reported on this network, so if you're watching this at home, do yourself a favor and look up the data.
Well, we invite that.
Great. So if you look this up at home, you will know that crime went down under Biden and crime went up under Trump, and I think the violent crime for sure. So I think the really important thing to ask is, why would America want to go back to the higher crime that we experienced under Donald Trump?
Okay.
If any of those viewers do Google the stats, they'll find out that Trump is predictably lying and that undocumented immigrants statistically commit less violent and property crime than American citizens.
I never thought that I would be a Fox News frequent flyer, just so you know. That was not on my bingo card of where my career would go if you'd asked me even a few years ago. But the reason I do it is because I think it's important, as your question suggested, to meet people where they are and recognize that I can't be mad at somebody for not embracing our message if they've literally never heard it. And the more one-sided a news network is, the less likely they will have heard it unless I literally go there and share it. And I think it's especially true in this election because I know a lot of folks who watch Fox News and count on Fox News. I know a lot of people in law enforcement who watch Fox News. And I want to make sure they have at least heard about the fact that violent crime went down after Donald Trump got beat, and are invited to reflect on the fact that Donald Trump is asking them to vote for a convicted felon over a prosecutor. I want them to at least have heard that, maybe more often than they would have. I know veterans who watch Fox News. I want to ask them to consider the difference between a ticket led by somebody who faked a disability, getting a doctor's note, taking advantage of him being a teenage multimillionaire so that he wouldn't have to go to Vietnam and let some working class kid go in his place, and whose own chief of staff revealed that he had described people who served this country as suckers and losers, compared to a ticket led by the administration that delivered the PACT Act that made sure that veterans who I served with in Iraq and Afghanistan downwind of burn pits get the cancer treatment that they need, and also has on it a command sergeant major from the National Guard who spent 24 years in uniform. So, like, you know, people, I always visualize people who I know, who I disagree with, and who I like, who are just maybe tuning in. I don't think they're going to see me on Fox for 5 minutes and see the light and suddenly become liberal Democrats. But I know that we're having a healthier conversation if they've at least heard what somebody like me has to say.
It's a depressing reality that for a lot of Americans, Fox News is their main source of information. In fact, according to ratings data compiled by Nielsen, the Fox News channel has been rated #1 in total day and primetime cable news ratings for 22 consecutive years. So as soul-destroying as it seems, or maybe, if the Dems want to reach these people, they're gonna have to engage with Fox from time to time.
And I'm looking for opportunities to break down those barriers so that we just have a shared experience of reality. It's why quality public education is so important. If public education is something that everybody from every walk of life seeks out, then schools become part of that place where the community building happens. It's why I believe in cutting across different media bubbles. It's a bit controversial within my party, but I don't hesitate to go on Fox News quite often. Because how can I blame somebody for not hearing our message or our view if they've literally not encountered it? Which means I have a responsibility to make sure it gets through to those viewers. And that's why we do those town halls. So the more we act to make sure that we're in a common reality, the more we can see the humanity in one another. This is a moment where we should look through everything from shared stories to shared lived experiences on ways to bring us together, even or especially when we disagree. It's not pretending we won't disagree. That's okay.
One thing Pete Buttigieg is extremely good at is keeping calm in the face of absolute insanity. Rather than meeting their lies with anger, as I might, he simply states the facts and encourages the audience to think critically about what they're hearing. He knows that shouting and getting pissed off would just drive ratings up for Fox and make the Democrats look crazy, so Pete does none of that. He just keeps his cool and brings receipts. Here's hoping Fox keeps letting him do his thing, because he could be the person who pulls your Fox News-loving relatives back from the brink. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.